welcome back. Let's read one more. Let's read about this Aleutic Islands. That's part of the Alaska, United States. That's super far, but I have a lot of volcano. So that's Kodiak Islands, Alaska, United States. So, but you can have see all this in the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. You can fly there and explore. So I really need to get, but first I need to get a faster gamer computer one day. Then I will fly there, Kodiak, explore this area one day in the Microsoft Flight Simulator. So let's read this. This may be the final PDF, final Wikipedia today. Yes, that depends how much power. Maybe read one more.
Aleution Islands. Aleution Islands, Russian, native name, Anangamtanangin Aleution large blank.png. Aleution Islands highlighted. Aleution Islands is located in North Pacific. Aleution Islands. Aleution Islands location in the Northern Pacific Ocean. Geography location North Pacific Ocean. Bering Sea coordinates 52.2 degree N 174.2 degree W coordinates 52.2 degree N 174.2 degree W. Total islands and GT 300 major islands. Unimek Island, Unalaska Island, Adak Island. Area 6,8211 square mi, 17,670 square kilometers. Length 1,200 mi, 1,900 kilometers. Highest elevation 9,373 foot, 2,856.9 m. Highest point Mount Shishaldin Unimek is. Russia Federal Subject Kamchatka Krai. The Aleution Islands. /lun/ winking sad smiley 2, 3, Russian, Alu, Anangamtanangin, land of the Alus, possibly from Chutkai Ailit, island, also called the Alu Islands, 4, or Aleutic Islands, 5, and known before 1867 as Catherine Archipelago, are a chain of 14 large volcanic islands and 55 smaller islands. Most of the Aleution Islands belong to the U.S. state of Alaska, but some belong to the Russian federal subject of Kamchatka Krai. 1. They form part half the Aleution Arc in the northern Pacific Ocean, occupying a land area of 6,821 square mi, 17,666 square kilometers, and extending about 1,200 mi, 1,900 kilometers, westward from the Alaska Peninsula toward the Kamchatka Peninsula in Russia, and act as a border between the Bering Sea to the north and the Pacific Ocean to the south. Crossing longitude 180 degrees, at which point east and west longitude end, the archipelago contains both westernmost part of the United States by longitude, Amatagnak Island, and the easternmost by longitude, Semisopochnoi Island. The westernmost U.S. island in real terms, however, is Attu Island, west of which runs the international date line. While nearly all the archipelago are part of Alaska and is usually considered as being in the Alaskan bush, at the extreme western end, the small geologically related Commander Islands belong to Russia. The islands, with their 57 volcanoes, form the northernmost part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Physiographically, they are a distinct section of the larger Pacific Border Province, which in turn is part of the larger Pacific Mountain System physiographic division. The islands are considered to be among the most geographically isolated areas in the North Pacific. 6. Battles and skirmishes occurred on the islands during the Aleution Islands campaign of World War II. The Japanese landing and occupation of Kiska and Attu in June 1942 breathe only 2 invasions of the United States during that war. Geology. Motion between the Killer Plate and the North American Plate along the margin of the Bering Shelf, in the Bering Sea north of the Aleution Arc, ended in the early Eocene. The Aleution Basin, the ocean floor north of the Aleution Arc, is the remainder of the Killer Plate that was trapped when volcanism and subduction jumped south to its current location at sea. United States State Alaska largest settlement Unalaska, Pop 4283, demographics population 8,162, 2000, Pop. Density 0.84/square mi, 0.324/km2. Languages Aleution ethnic groups Aleut additional information time zones Hawaii Aleution time zone, UTC 10. Alaska time zone, UTC 9. Summer, DST, Hawaii Aleution daylight time, UTC 9. Alaska daylight time, UTC 8. 56 Ma.7. The Aleution Island Arc, then, formed in the early Eocene, 5550 Ma, when the subduction of the Pacific Plate under the North American Plate began. The arc is made of separate blocks that have been rotated clockwise. The basement underlying the islands is made of 3 stratigraphic units, an Eocene layer of volcanic rock, an Oligocene-Miocene layer of marine sedimentary rock, and a Pliocene Quaternary layer of sedimentary and igneous rock. 8. Geography. Unalaska Island in the Aleution Islands. The Aleution Islands from 32,000 feet, 9,700 m. The islands, known before 1867 as the Catherine Archipelago, include 6 groups, east to west, Fox Islands. The main islands are Unimek, Akutan Unalaska and Umnak. Islands of 4 mountains. The main islands are Unaska and Chujanadak. Andrianoff Islands. The main islands are Adak, Atka Umlaya, Segwam, Kaniga and Tunaga. Rat Islands. The main islands are Kiska and Damshika. Near Islands. The main islands are Attu Island, Agatu Island and the Semichi Islands, Alid, Nizki and Shmya. Commander Islands. The main islands are Bering and Meedni. All 6 are located between 51 degrees and 55 degrees N latitude and 172 degrees E and 163 degree W longitude. 9. The largest islands in the Aleutians are Attu, the farthest from the mainland, and Unalaska, Umnak, and Unimek in the Fox Islands. The largest of those is Unimek Island with an area of 1,571.41 m2, 4,069.9 square kilometers, followed by Unalaska Island, the only other Aleutian island with an area over 1,000 square miles, 2,600 square kilometers. The axis of the archipelago near the mainland of Alaska has a southwest trend, but at Tunaga Island, about 178 degrees W, its direction changes to the northwest. This change of direction corresponds to a curve in the line of volcanic fissures that have contributed their products to the building of the islands. Such curved chains are repeated about the Pacific Ocean in the Kuril Islands, the Japanese chain, and in the Philippines. All these island arcs are at the edge of Pacific Plate and experience much seismic activity, but are still habitable. The Aleutians lie between the Pacific and North American tectonic plates. The general elevation is greatest in the eastern islands and least in the western. The island chain is a western continuation of the Aleutian range on the mainland. 10. Active Aleutian volcanoes. The great majority of the islands bear evident marks of volcanic origin, and there are numerous volcanic cones on the north side of chain, some of them active. Many of the islands, however, are wholly volcanic. but contain crystalline or sedimentary rocks and also amber and beds of lignite. The coasts are rocky and surf-worn, and the approaches are exceedingly dangerous, the land rising immediately from the coasts to steep, bold mountains. 10. These volcanic islands reach heights of 6,200 feet, 1,900 m. Aleution volcano, 5,691 feet, 1,735 m. On Unalaska Island, is not quite visible from within the town of Unalaska, though Thesti rising from its cone is visible on a rare, clear day. Residents of Unalaska need only to climb one of the smaller hills in the area such as Pyramid Peak or Mount Newhall, to get a good look at their snow-covered cone. The volcanic Bogosloff and Fire Islands, which rose from the sea in 1796 and 1883 respectively, lie about 30 miles, 50 kilometers, west of Unalaska Bay. 10. In 1906, a new volcanic cone rose between the islets of Bogosloff and Gruing, near Unalaska, followed by another in 1907. These cones were nearly demolished by an explosive eruption on September 1, 1907. 10. In 2017, the volcanic cone erupted sending ash and ice particles 30,000 feet, 9,000 m, into the air. 11. Alfred Russel Wallace's 1879 book Australasia, Ian Todd's 1974 book Island Realm, A Pacific Panorama, and Dean Kohlhof's 2002 book Amshika and the Bomb, Nuclear Testing in Alaska all associate the Aleutian Islands with the Oceania region due to their status as remote islands in the Pacific. 12, 13, 14. These islands, having biogeographical and ethno-cultural affinities to North America, are not ordinarily considered a part of the region. 15, 16. The Aleutian seen from space. Image of the islands taken by the STS-56 crew. Image of the islands taken by the STS-56 crew. These cloud formations were seen over the western Aleutian Islands. These cloud formations were seen over the western Aleutian Islands. Aster image of the islands. Aster image of the islands. Aleutian Islands on the 15th of May, 2014, by NASA's Aqua satellite. Aleutian Islands on May 15, 2014, by NASA's Aqua satellite. Climate. The climate of the islands is oceanic, with moderate and fairly uniform temperatures and heavy rainfall. Fogs are almost constant. Summer weather is much cooler than southeast Alaska, around Sitka, but the winter temperature of the islands and of the Alaska Panhandle is very nearly the same. 10. According to the Köppen climate classification system, the area southwest of 53.5 degree N 167.0 degree W on Unalaska Island have a Adak Islands climate creates a tundra subpolar oceanic climate, type CFC as are Reykjavik, Tórshavn, Punta Arenas, Ushuaia and the Auckland Islands, characterized by the coldest month averaging above 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 months averaging above 10 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and no significant precipitation difference between seasons. To the northeast of that point, the climate becomes subarctic with cool summers and year-round rainfall, type DFC as are Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, Murmansk, St. Moritz, and Labrador City, where it is similar but colder, with the coldest month averaging below 0 degrees C, 32 degrees Fahrenheit. 17. During the winter the islands become the center for a semi-permanent low-pressure area called the Aleutian Low. 18. The mean annual temperature for Unalaska, the most populated island of the group, is about 38 degrees Fahrenheit, 3 degrees Celsius. Being about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 degree C, in January and about 52 degrees Fahrenheit, 11 degrees Celsius, in August. The highest and lowest temperatures recorded on the islands are 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 degrees Celsius, and 5 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 degrees C, respectively. The average annual rainfall is about 80 inches, 2,000 millimeters, and on Alaska, with about 250 rainy days per year, is said to be one of the rainiest places within the U.S.10 flora. Cape Promontory, Cape Lud Keys on Unimak Island in the Aleutian Islands, Alaska. The growing season lasts approximately 135 days, from early in May until late in September, but agriculture is limited to the raising of few vegetables. With the exception of some stunted willows, the vast majority of the chain is devoid of native trees. 10. On some off-islands, such as Adak and Amernak, there are a few coniferous trees growing, remnants of the Russian period. While tall trees grow in many cold climates, Aleutian conifers, some estimated to be 200 years old, rarely reach a height of even 10 feet, 3 m, and many of them are still less than 5 feet, 1.5 m, tall. This because the islands, much like the Falklands and other islands of similar latitudes, experience such strong winds that taller trees are vulnerable to snapping off. Instead of trees, the islands are covered with a luxuriant, dense growth of herbage and shrubs, including crowberry, blue joint, grasses, sedges, and many flowering plants. 19. There are areas of peat bog near the coasts. Endemic plants include the endangered Aleutian shield fern. Fauna. Transient orcas near Unimak Island, eastern Aleutian Islands. The Aleutians are home to many large colonies of seabirds. Boulder Island has 21 breeding seabird species, including the Bering Sea endemic red-legged kittiwake. Large seabird colonies are also present at Kiska, Gorillo, Semisopochnoi, Bogosloth, and others. The islands are also frequented by vagrant Asiatic birds, including the common rosefinch, Siberian ruber-throat, blue-throat, lanceolated warbler, and the first North American record of the intermediate egret. 20. Still, sea lions haul out on Unimak Island. The habitats of the Aleutians are largely unspoiled, but wildlife is affected by competition from introduced species such as cattle, caribou, and foxes. Nearly all of the Aleutians are protected as part of the Alaska Maritime National Wildlife Refuge and the Aleutian Islands Wilderness. 21. Observations have identified sea otters as a keystone species along the coasts of many of the Aleutian Islands. Their presence encourages the growth of kelp forests, as the otters control sea urchin populations, as large populations of sea urchins can create urchin barrens by clearing away kelp stands. 22. Economy. Dutch harbor crab boats on the less mountainous islands. The raising of sheep and reindeer was once believed to be practicable. 19. There are bison on islands near Sand Point. Sheep raising seems to have died off with the advent of synthetic fibers, which lowered the value of wool. During the 1980s, there were some llama being raised on Alaska. The current economy is primarily based on fishing, and the presence of U.S. military. The only crop is potato. Chickens are raised in barns under protection from the cold. Transportation. In addition to a partial air service and a ferry service, the Alaska Marine Highway passes through many of U.S. islands. Demographics. Residences in Adak Island. The native people refer to themselves as Alangan, and are now generally known by most non-natives as the Aleut. The Aleut language is one of the two main branches of the Eskimo Aleut language family. This family is not known to be related to any others. The 2000 U.S. Census recorded a population of 8,162 on islands, of whom 4,283 were living in the main settlement of Unalaska. History. Prehistory. as they stretch like a broken bridge from the continent Asia to the continent North America. Many anthropologists hypothesize they were a route of the first human occupants of the Americas. However, the earliest known evidence in public recorded history of human occupation in the Americas is found much farther